So Flo, by all intents and purposes, is going to play. The plan is to have him in the lineup tonight. But FIFA has actually put together an appeals committee, and they will hear this case. But it's not clear if that's going to happen in any way, shape, or form before today's 5 o'clock kickoff.
What a mess!
I mean, really, been a mess.
It's just this has been an unfortunate mess, which. If you go back to the red card, shouldn't have been a red card in the first place. And then, you talk about, maybe some higher powers getting involved here as well. And this is, drawn a lot of criticism from the international media, from former players, from other teams. We've been hearing from, other teams' managers about this decision as well. But you know what? The bottom line is the U.S. and particularly Flo Balogun has handled this with all class from the very beginning.
And I think that had a lot to do with the decision ultimately to overturn the one-game suspension to allow him to play in this game. I think a lot of people, U.S. fans in particular, were looking at that red card, thought that was excessive, and we'll get into the call and why it probably should have been a yellow card at worst at the time. But I think the way that he dealt with it afterwards, he took it, he walked off the field. After the game, he came back on, and then he shook hands with the referees and then celebrated with his teammates after that 2-0 win against Bosnia.
Yeah, fantastic. And, I do want to say that while we may not know exactly how this is going to play out for the game today until perhaps right at game time, players with the U.S. were certainly excited to hear that their teammate is expected to be available for that game. So let's hear from them now.
I think we're all very excited. Flo's done really well with leading the line so far and scoring some important goals for us. So ultimately, I think it gives us a little bit extra confidence.
Just as far as just having him as a presence out there, he does so much. He runs off the ball. He always gives an option. He's constantly a threat in behind and to score. And obviously, as a team, it's really helpful.
Now, it's definitely going to be a huge boost for Team USA because a lot of the conversation, after the Bosnia match was how is Team USA going to respond after losing Flo Balogun, probably their biggest offensive threat for this match. Now that isn't the situation. And now the Belgians, as you might expect, are not thrilled about this. They have filed a formal appeal about this decision by FIFA. Rudy Garcia, the Belgian manager, saying, quote, "I didn't know that FIFA headquarters for them July 5th is the same thing as April 1st. April Fool's Day." Yeah, he's saying they are astonished by that decision.
Yeah, look, when it all comes down to it, this was all maybe handled not in the greatest way, right? It came down after. I mean, this was yesterday that this came down, right? That we found out that Flo Balogun was going to play,
and they had until 5 a.m. today to make that appeal, right?
Right, and so the teams have been preparing, both of them, preparing to play this match without him. Now we could have a decision that comes down on this appeal before the match today. It may take a little bit longer. It may take longer, which would make it a moot point at that point. Yeah. But yeah, we could see yet again another decision come down that says, okay, we're going to take this appeal seriously, and you know what? He's out of the match. So how do you prepare for a match like this is the big question, I think, with both teams. I think you have to prepare for a match with him and a match without him.